Stay tuned to see that where God leads, He provides and exceeds expectations. My name is Jason Bradley, and you're watching Urban Report. Hello and welcome to Urban Report. My guest today is Eric Camarillo, President of SALT Outreach Ministries. Welcome to Urban Report, Eric.
Hey, Jason, happy to be here.
Yes, it's great to have you here. Clearly, you're no stranger to 3ABN's Dare to Dream network at all. You've been here, on several occasions, and I've been impressed with how God has been leading and providing in your ministry, and I'm looking forward to diving into that and hearing all the miracle stories that have been taking place. But before we do, why don't you just tell us a little bit about you, your background, and what SALT stands for?
Yeah, so my name's Eric Camarillo. I do have my background as far as my education. I got a social work bachelor's degree and got my master's in nonprofit management. And I am the president of SALT Outreach. SALT is an acronym for Service and Love Together. We right now have a mobile day service center for the homeless, or also referred to as a mobile drop-in center for the homeless, where we provide basic needs to them. That includes showers through a shower trailer, clothing and hygiene product through a clothing trailer, haircuts, food, and other resources and services through our partners.
Nice, nice. So you said a shower trailer and you said a clothing trailer. I remember you coming on the program and you were talking about your need for a clothing trailer or change trailer and for a shower trailer, and you have it.
Yeah. I will say that honestly, that shower trailer right there was $40,000 we had to raise, and if it wasn't for 3ABN and Dare to Dream viewers, we might not have been able to raise it. I mean, just between the viewers on this show, we raised a little over $20,000 from the people that watch this show, and that support this mission. And so, if you're, I always like to say, when it comes to helping the homeless, a lot of people don't know where to start or what to do. A lot of people don't feel comfortable giving money directly to those experiencing homelessness, but supporting organizations like us that provide those direct services to them is one great way to support those people that are unsheltered right now.
Yes. Now, I know on the last time you were, well, I say here, but the last time you were on Skype, my mother interviewed you, and you were telling her what was going on in the ministry and all of that. What are some of the changes that have taken place within the ministry since then?
Yeah, you know what? There's been a lot, Jason. It's crazy. It's been like night and day, and we can only give God the credit for that. When Yvonne interviewed us, we had just gotten some initial funding from the city of Orlando to operate during the coronavirus pandemic. A lot of the organizations, because they operate inside, it wasn't safe for them to operate, and because many of those organizations that, let's say, provide food, it wasn't safe for them to gather all of those people in one place. So us being outside, doing things by appointment, we were one of the only organizations able to operate during the pandemic and when it first started. Because you could imagine, for someone experiencing homelessness and everything shutting down, the businesses, not being able to get food where they usually get food, not being able to go into different places to get resources like a shower or even use the bathroom. It really put them in a tough situation. And so the city was like, let's partner with SALT. And we partnered together, and they gave us some initial funding to operate 3 days a week during the pandemic. And so since then, we've been operating 3 days a week. We just increased to 4 days a week. And the city of Orlando approved a large grant for us, $250,000 to
Wow.
cover us from October to September of next year, which is
Wow.
huge. I mean, it
Yes.
really, it's God's way of increasing our capacity to serve
Mm-hmm.
even more people and do even more. So
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
Yeah, that is huge. So you got approved for the grant for $250,000. You're going to be able to accomplish so much with that, because all of that stuff costs money, right? You know, getting stuff like a shower trailer. What are some of the other things that you are looking to do, that you need to garner support for?
Yeah, and you know, you're right. You know, when it comes to, I was just looking at like last year, the beginning of last year, we're operating once a month, maybe
Mm-hmm.
impacting 60 to 80 people a month through our operation. But now operating 4 days a week, I mean, our impact has almost quintupled from
Wow.
that time last year. So definitely the extra funds are helping us to make a bigger impact. We are hiring, we just hired actually a licensed clinical social worker who's going to
Nice.
help do case management for some of those experiencing homelessness that have, you know, mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
We are hiring another master's level social worker as well to help with case management. And we're going to be taking on 4 uh, bachelor level interns from the local universities to be able to help with case management as well, so we can really kind of connect them to the resources. You know, once they get those basic needs from us, connecting them to other organizations that can help with those other needs that they might have, eventually to end homelessness. You know, because here in
Yeah.
Orlando, there's a coordinated community effort. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like we might do one aspect of serving the homeless, but then there might be another organization that does another aspect, another organization that does another, and we all kind of coordinate our efforts to really impact that individual.
Yes.
So that's one thing, and the other thing too is we're actually just made a down payment on a laundry trailer. It's going to have
Wow.
6 washers and 6 dryers to help meet that laundry need that the homeless have.
Wow, that's huge. So a laundry trailer. Yeah, that is huge. So you're establishing partnerships, you're building partnerships. Have any companies helped support what you have going on with SALT?
Yeah, yeah. So we did have, you know, the city of Orlando, of course,
Mm-hmm.
was a big entity that's supporting us. Then we have Orlando Utility Commission,
Okay.
who donated solar panels to us. I mentioned that in Yvonne's interview. That's been huge to
Mm-hmm.
help us cut down on that energy cost and that sort of thing. We did also have the Hilton support us during the pandemic to help house some of our workers
Mm-hmm.
that were working and didn't want to go directly home for the risk of, you know, if they did have something, passing it on to their family. They were able to go to a hotel room,
Yes.
shower, get changed, and then go home. But yeah, we've had I mean, many different organizations and businesses really contribute to this mission
Mm-hmm.
in different ways. You know, providing food. There's organizations named Food Not Bombs that does vegan food for those experiencing homelessness.
Wow.
Um, you know, another organization, the Islamic Society of Orlando, is helping to provide food as well. The Christian Service Center, which is an organization that we're kind of based at right now, they're also providing lunch every, you know, around 12 every day at that site
Wow.
to help support what's happening there. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been exciting to see kind of all these different entities and from all these different backgrounds and
Yes.
organizations come together for the same purpose, you know, to be able to meet those needs, to fulfill, you
Mm-hmm.
know, Matthew 25, right? I was
Yes.
hungry and you gave me food, thirsty, you gave me drink, naked, you
Mm-hmm.
gave me clothes. I needed shelter and you took me in. I mean, that's, you know, I believe it's referring to those experiencing homelessness in those verses, you know.
Wow.
Definitely the help is needed.
Yes, yes. So, man, so you have all these partnerships coming about, and it creates extra witnessing opportunities as well, right? Talk to us a little bit about being able to witness. I mean, you're already doing the practical Christianity, you know, Christ method alone. But talk to us about some of the witnessing opportunities that you've had.
Yeah, I know we're going to be going through the pictures later, but that was kind of like a really like a prime example of what we're trying to accomplish. Being able to meet those needs and share Christ, while we're meeting those needs is a huge part of what we're trying to do. I know that we just have a partnership with a local Adventist church, Lighthouse Community Seventh Day
Hmm.
Adventist Church, and they actually have a box truck that they retrofitted to be a mobile stage, and so they'll actually bring church out there to those experiencing homelessness, to be able to meet some of those that
Wow.
spiritual need, that fellowship need that they have, because a lot of them did go to church, but when church
Hmm.
is closed, they weren't able to do that.
Yes.
They couldn't go online and even experience online church. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So this was something that was crucial that they missed a lot. I mean, the smiles on their faces definitely spoke for themselves when we were able to do that. And then obviously, our we as and I hear from our staff all the time, there are those that just need prayer. That we're going
Hmm.
to pray for, and we're actually looking to hire a part-time chaplain, calling them a chaplain, that's going to be on site to help meet that spiritual need for those experiencing homelessness as well. So
Hmm.
that's a project that we're actually trying to raise money for as well, to kind of be there for them in that way. So that's something that's been working. And then there's Patrick, which I'll talk about later, I guess, when we go through the pictures.
Yes.
That story.
Yeah, so you have so much going on. One of the things that I'm curious about is how do you pick the location where you're going to take the shower trailer or where you're going to take the change trailer? Like how do you find that location?
That's a good question. So we used to kind of go to different areas where we felt, and one of the crucial things I think about a drop-in center in general for the
Hmm.
homeless is being able to meet those basic needs. But when you're mobile like us, we can actually meet the homeless where they are. And one
Mm,
of the purposes is to engage as many people as possible to create those relationships and build that trust, to then refer them to other organizations to help end homelessness.
yes.
So we definitely want to meet them where they are. And
Hmm.
so that's what we've been doing. We would try to pick locations where we feel that they are going to be most comfortable going to. And currently, we just for about a month now, we've been operating at the Christian Service Center in Orlando, because that's something that's been in the community for ages.
Hmm.
Those that are experiencing homelessness, they know where that location is. I mean, the homeless, the Coalition for the Homeless that has a shelter is maybe 2 or 3 blocks away. So it's a place that they're familiar with, that they're comfortable with, and that's crucial in being able to provide these services and build that trust. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how we pick that location.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. We do have several pictures, and so I'd like to start putting the first one up now, and you tell us a little bit about what's going on in each one of these.
Yeah, I'm going to share a testimony. It's about our friend Patrick. That's him right there holding the door open. He's kind of, guiding some volunteers that are volunteering there on how to clean the bathrooms.
Hmm.
He came to us back in it was late 2018, early 2019, and he just came to us to receive a shower, and to get
Hmm.
his needs met. And so we got to know him a little bit, and he was so grateful at being able to receive these services that he started to clean the bathrooms after each person that showered and used the bathroom.
Wow.
And as a volunteer, I mean, he didn't expect anything in return.
Yeah.
So that's just a picture of him volunteering with us.
Hmm.
If we go to the next shot here, that's this is him working with us as an employee. So when we decided to hire people back in March, he was one of the first people we decided to hire. I mean, he's been with us and volunteering with us for over a year at that point, and he was good at what he did. He was a hard worker, so we hired him. And at the same time as we hired him, we helped to get him off the street as well. So he was in a
Wow.
place with AC and a bed, and he was
Yes.
comfortable. And so that's a picture of him and our homeless outreach director, Kathy. They just took a picture there after outreach.
Nice.
And so he was a huge asset to our operation, and helping us to run during coronavirus. Um,
We
the
have
next
another
picture
picture.
here. hmm So what ended up happening is, so Pat, he started to limp, and it was back in about late June. He started to limp. People were noticing seemed like he was losing weight. Um, and he didn't really know what it was, and we didn't. We kind of were urging him to go and get it checked out and go to the hospital. And finally, in early July, he did end up going to the hospital. And while we all thought it was some kind of like pinched nerve or something, and even him thought it was something like that, we find out that he has stage 4 lung cancer,
Oh man.
that had metastasized and spread to his hip, and that's why he was limping. And so the doctors told us, one of our outreach workers, Carlos, was with him in the hospital, and he wept when he heard the diagnosis. Carlos did,
Yeah.
and it was just it caught us off guard. It caught all of us off guard. And he only had a few weeks to live, is what the doctor said after that. And he didn't want to, Pat, he's stubborn. He didn't want to stay in the hospital. He wanted to leave because he wanted to say goodbye to people. And with the coronavirus restrictions with visitors, he knew
Yes.
that he wouldn't be able to do that. He wanted to spend his last days with the people that loved him and the people he loved. And so that picture where he's in the bed, that's after he left the hospital. We had gotten him a place kind of closer to where the people he knows is, closer to downtown. And that was us kind of with him. He actually, in that picture, that was right after his baptism.
Wow.
One of his last requests was to be baptized. And prior to this, it wasn't just a spontaneous thing. When he first got shelter with us, when he first had a roof over his head and a bed, he started to do morning devotionals. And so when you look at his Facebook, you can see his little morning devotionals that he'll post up on Facebook. And he started to spend that time with God. And obviously we would always kind of emphasize that aspect, that spiritual aspect with him, and talk with him and about those things. And so, one of his last requests was to be baptized. And since he couldn't move too much, he was baptized in the bathtub of that hotel.
Wow.
A pastor came and did that. And so the next picture that we have is about a week after that. He was moved to hospice. That's my wife there sitting with him. We both visited. We both went to go visit him as soon as he got moved into hospice. And there definitely wasn't much time left. He was on morphine to help ease the pain. The pain was like unbearable for him.
Yes.
And we were there, and we spent some time with him. Spent a few hours with him, and just talking with him, and we prayed with him. And the next day, one of our her name's Palmetto, one of our board members, and our HR director went to go visit him. And as when she got there, he was unresponsive, and he ended up passing away while she was holding his hand. But I mentioned this story because this is an example of what we want to see with everyone that we serve. We want to be able to meet that need, to help get them off the street so they can have a place. It's hard. It's hard when you're living on the street. It's hard to be consistent with anything. Even reading the Bible or it's hard. And when someone has that roof over their head and they have a bed to sleep in and they're comfortable, now that opens new doors. I feel like that spiritual door is more open.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so when we're able to meet those basic needs, and when we're able to then emphasize that spiritual component and when it leads to baptism, and they're able to get off the street and they're working, like him, he was working with us.
Yes.
It's life changing, and we
Mm-hmm.
want to see that with every single person we serve. And so we're going to create a program in his memory. We did an actual memorial service for him after he passed. I have a picture of that flyer that we put out on
Yes.
social media, invite all the volunteers and his friends, family, and yeah, it was definitely really emotional, very hard for all of us.
I believe it.
Yeah, but he was, he's awesome, and I'm happy that in heaven, we'll be able to see him again.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. When Jesus
Exciting
comes
part.
back, it's going to be so sweet. When Jesus comes back to
Yes,
get us, that will be incredible. Yes, it
yes,
sounds
yes.
like Pat made a huge. You had a huge impact on his life, and he had a huge impact on your life and the lives of others as well. That's
Oh,
huge, and that's what it's all about, is leading people to Christ and that practical Christianity. And I think that SALT really embodies that. Like, I think that you guys as an organization really embodies that, because you're meeting tangible needs that people have and also witnessing to them. And that's powerful. I'm so glad that he got baptized, prior to his passing.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It was just an awesome day with him that day, and yeah, he definitely did make an impact in our lives. We'll always
Yes,
remember him.
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
yeah,
And I know that we have a few more pictures, so we'll start
yeah,
going through those. I
yeah.
want you to tell us what's going on in these.
Yeah, so this is, I want to share this picture because this is our staff. You saw Kathy, our homeless outreach director.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle there with the sunglasses is Oscar. He's our homeless outreach coordinator. And then the other three there are Carlos, Paula, and Natalia. They're our homeless outreach assistants. They all kind of specialize in different areas. Like Carlos, he cuts hair. Paula helps with video, and she was there on the right. And then on the left there is Natalia. She helps with data entry,
Oh,
because we
wow.
have to do a lot of data entry to track our impact. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, they've been a huge blessing. They've been on the front lines 4 days a week,
Yes.
serving those, that are experiencing homelessness, and really being those people to show that love that
Mm-hmm.
Christ has for them, just in person, and
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, it seems like
mm,
there's a lot of positions that are required for this ministry and organization to run.
yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
oh yeah. For
Mm-hmm.
sure, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mean, I even me, I'm mostly work a lot remote now. I mean, there's a lot that happens in the background that I have to do. The homeless outreach director goes both on site and off site. Does some things in the background as well. A lot of meetings that have to happen, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
fundraising efforts that need to be done. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's putting reports together. I mean, there's a lot in the background. I think when we think about ministry, we just kind of think about that visual of maybe someone giving someone something, or giving,
Mm-hmm.
handing out some food, or handing out
Mm-hmm.
some clothes. But ministry could also look like someone sitting on a computer,
Yes.
and that's part of what needs to happen too to keep this running. So,
Absolutely. Everybody has a part to play.
hmm
Yes.
right,
Well, we have a
right.
few more pictures that I want us to get to, because our time is running a little short. What do we
Yeah.
have here?
So yeah, this is recent. The mayor of Orlando actually gave us a shout out on his Facebook, and that right there, that what he shared is a recent news story from about 2 weeks ago of the $250,000 grant that was awarded to us to continue serving for another year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to say, I think, going to even just looking at just a story here in the Bible, like Nehemiah,
Mm-hmm.
who was working for that king, that government, right? And he saw a gap in the community, and it encouraged him. I mean, God had given him, he spent time in prayer. It was 4 months from when he prayed that initial prayer in chapter 1. and until chapter 2, when he actually asked the question. He spent that time in prayer and fasting and thinking about how to meet this need. And then finally he decided to ask the king for support. And the king, who didn't identify as as the follower of the same God, gave him all the resources that he needed to be able to meet that need for his people. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So I just want to encourage anyone that's looking to start something or do make a change in the community. Jesus says, ask and it'll be given to you. Seek and
Yes.
you will find. Knock and the door will be opened. And I truly believe that. I think in fundraising, just in general, one of the biggest balls that we drop in fundraising is not asking the question. And that's a huge part that I just
That's
want to
powerful.
comment on.
Yeah, that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that for sure. We've got, I'd say, about 2.5 minutes left, and I want to know, what are some of the needs that your organization has currently?
Yeah, so as you can imagine, with increased funding comes increased operation. With the increased operation comes increased cost. So where our annual budget has now grown to about $400,000 a year. And so while the city of Orlando funding does cover more than half of that, we are still responsible for raising another $150,000 for next year. So that's something we're really working toward. We don't want to decrease in services. We want to increase our capacity and expand our services and meet even more needs in the community. So we're going in faith, asking God to help meet that need. Even our laundry trailer, we made the down payment, but we still have about $10,000 to go to raise the full amount needed for that trailer. So it's another thing that we're really pushing for.
Well, we want to put up your address so that people know how they can get in touch with you. And if you would just read that to us.
Yeah, so you can mail your tax-deductible donations to 100 East Pine Street, Suite 110, Orlando, Florida, 32801. Our phone number is 866-237-2589 or 866-BE-SALTY. And our website is saltoutreach.org, and email address is team@saltoutreach.org.
Wonderful, wonderful. Man, I can't believe our time is just about up, Eric. I want to thank you for, what you're doing to reach the community for Christ, what you're doing to really put on display the practicality of the gospel, and how you've been so willing to help those in need. And thank you for coming on this program and sharing today. I hope that you at home will get involved and support this wonderful ministry. And you know what? It just wouldn't be the same without you. Join us next time. God bless.